Hi, hello. My name is Darrell. If we haven't met before, it's nice to meet you. So, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not an influencer, I'm not famous, and I'm not special. I'm just an ordinary human being, and my job is I run my own studio and I make video games for a living. For the past 6 years, I've been making Silver Falls games exclusively, just only Silver Falls games for Nintendo consoles, and that's how I've been uh, making a living. And I've only used YouTube in the past for self promotion, and I've used YouTube to tell people about my games, but you don't really build an audience that way. The YouTube algorithm doesn't pick up people that are just self promoting and talking about their stuff all the time. And it's when I am able to do collabs with content creators and article writers, that is how my games are able to reach an audience and they're able to sell. And in the past, I was able to support my studio with just that. But with the cultural and technological and industry landscapes of today, they're changing. Those are things that you need to adapt to, and it's a vital that you adapt to them, not just for today, but for tomorrow and the day after that as well. And it's would be very bad for me if I just kept doing the exact same thing over and over again. So over the past month, I've just been analyzing our cultural landscape and the technological landscape and seeing what I need to do in order to make sure that I can keep running my business, I can keep selling my games, I can keep reaching an audience. And that means that I have to make some changes to my business strategy. And so what that means is I will not just be making Silver Falls games anymore. That part of my life is over. It was very fun, but it was also very stressful because one of the reasons why it took so long to develop my Silver Falls games was because I was using Unity for 3DS and Unity for Wii U, and those are infamously broken. And so that was partly why it took so long to develop and ship titles as well. Um, but from now on, I'll be developing and shipping more titles across a wide range of platforms and across a bunch of different IP that I've been working on for a while now, and I've had sitting in my developer's notes. So I'm going to reach into that archive and start bringing out more pretty hilarious, wild ideas for people that have been enjoying my games for a while. I think you guys understand my sense of humor and my design sensibilities, and I tend to enjoy some kind of weird off the wall, gameplay ideas. And you're going to see more. The, you've just seen the tip of the iceberg. The games that I've conceptualized and have had sitting in my notes, I haven't worked on them because I think this is is so weird. I'm not sure if anyone's really going to click with that. But you know what? I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with the ideas that I have. And some of the platforms that I'll be bringing my games to are, KaiOS. I recently just launched my first title on that. It's a pretty small game. It's loading there. It's a pretty small game called Dragon Glide, and it's very much a mobile game in the way that Snake is, a small, simple game. Dragon Glide is on KaiOS. I'm working on more games for the KaiOS now as well. I'll be bringing games to Steam, the Playdate, and more. So, I'll be producing regular videos for YouTube that are either just for entertainment or just for information, and that's important that I do that in order to build um, an audience and in order to work within the expectations and the constraints of YouTube. I have to bend the knee to YouTube's algorithm in order to work within that system. As it stands, YouTube is my only way of building an audience. Platforms like Twitter are absolutely dead. I am not building an audience through that, and I can see now it started pretty much exactly when Elon purchased Twitter. My audience growth absolutely halted. So I can no longer rely on that platform. Things like Facebook don't actually build a platform. Um, and so YouTube is my only venue to build an audience and to interact with you guys in this sort of way. And so I have to focus on creating, sort of eye-catching, unfortunately, kind of clickbaity thumbnails. And I'm trying to do that in a way that's, respectful to your expectations, and I don't do anything misleading in the thumbnail, but I'm trying to do things that are, a bit bigger. This also means that I have to ask you to click the like button and comment. And if you click the like button, I promise I will call your mother back after last night. So, I will be producing more regular homebrew launches across a wide range of platforms, and that includes the Game Gear. Recently, our Patreon contributions have gone towards getting the hardware so I can produce um, Game Gear titles, actual physical Game Gear titles. So I'm just waiting for that stuff to be delivered. A friend gave me this broken Game Gear, so I was able to order the repair parts with Patreon contributions. I'm just waiting on the screw. It takes a special screwdriver to open the console, and then I will be replacing all the capacitors because it's broken. But with the capacitor replacement kit, I should be able to replace that. I will be producing um, homebrew for the Nintendo 64. We had a generous contribution. I was doing a live stream. Someone, contributed a super chat. It was quite generous. I hate asking for those kinds of things, but I want to make sure that I give back to the community and your contributions go towards something that everyone can benefit from. So I purchased flashing hardware um, with the contributions so I can produce physical N64 cartridges. So please look forward to that. Of course, the digital ROMs will always be free so anyone can enjoy my stuff. I'll be working on Saturn Homebrew as well. And with your help through Patreon, or if you would like to donate directly through PayPal, I can bring games to more homebrew platforms. I only work on platforms that I have the actual consoles for. I don't have a Saturn at the moment, but I put a poll up and it seems like people would like me to create more Saturn homebrew, so I will likely uh, use our contributions for this month and next month and allocate those towards acquiring Saturn hardware so I can bring Saturn games to you guys. I'll be producing regularly. This will be regularly. I'll be producing free mobile games that run ads, but I will not have any in-app purchases in my games. I find that practice is too predatory, so I do not, and I refuse to include in-app purchases in my games. It's a line that is so thin that you're really walking on thin ice, and once you fall through, you're on the dark side. And I'm not even gonna tangle with that. So no in-app purchases. But like my game on KaiOS runs ads. I've made 11 cents in the past day, which is very exciting. I'll be launching a bunch of stuff on that, a bunch of stuff on Android, um, and my goal is hopefully with all these various revenue streams is that I can make a full-time living wage, because making a full-time living wage on just commercial games is extremely difficult. If you are a solo developer, you have no marketing budget, it's borderline impossible just relying on commercial games. You need to be launching constant regular games. You need to have some kind of massive gimmick or hook to where content creators and websites are constantly talking about you. You need to hit really hard, and if you don't have that, then content creators will not discuss and share your content. It's going to be so difficult because if you're just on your own YouTube channel talking about your game, it's extremely hard to build an audience that way. So you have so many different business fees. You have taxes are high. You know, you need to hire tax agents and all these other sort of business fees, and the cost of living is going up. And you have a mortgage. It is extremely difficult to make a living just on commercial games. So my hope and my plan is to diversify my revenue streams. So in combination with Patreon support, you guys donating, it's been a huge help. It's really saved me a number of times over the past couple of years with your Patreon support, with ads from my free mobile games, with my commercial titles, and with revenue from my YouTube videos. I make a couple dollars through ad revenue on YouTube. I'm hoping by diversifying and bringing all those revenue streams in together that I can keep my studio financial and I can build up the capital to fund bigger upcoming titles. As it stands at the moment, I can only afford to produce very small titles that I can ship very quickly. I don't have the capital to develop large titles that need a couple months to develop. That means that I'm basically not earning revenue for, you know, a certain amount of time because I'm just focusing all of my attention on developing a game. And then it can take months to get all that stuff approved and shipped out. So those are months again where you're still not making revenue because I tend to find from experience my old titles that have already launched, generally they make revenue within the first, two months, third month trickles off, and then after that you're really not getting revenue anymore. And unless you get content creators discussing your games, that's it. You're basically not getting any more revenue from your games, and it's extremely difficult these days because there's so much competition and every market is kind of crowded, you know. So that's really where I'm at the moment. Is this is me adjusting my business strategy, and it's quite daunting. You know, I can be honest with you guys, and I can tell you things because I'm not this big bombastic YouTuber. I'm not, you know, I don't have to put on a facade. I don't have a persona. So I'm talking to you as me. This is my personality. Um, I'm not, you know, pretending to be, you know, this big, strong, cool, tough internet guy. I'm just a normal human being. And I can tell you that it's daunting thinking about all of this work because it's already extremely difficult. I've been working 130 hours now for too long. I've you know, it's more than half a year that I've been keeping that pace up. And that's just developing the games and then shipping them out and then working on all the marketing. And the past couple weeks, I've been producing some YouTube videos and this and that. And that is time consuming. And that's why I say I'm not a YouTuber because that's a full time job. That is so difficult. It is so challenging working within the expectations and restraints of YouTube. And there are people out there who have put in the time and the effort to entertain and inform and create great content for YouTube. Those people are YouTubers because they've put in the time and the effort. I don't really have the time, you know, to be a YouTuber. So I'm just going to do what I can, but it's so daunting thinking, oh great, now I've got to do all this regular YouTube stuff. Oh shoot, okay, I have to make regular homebrew titles, but people tend to get excited about the homebrew stuff. It allows me to reach a new audience and reach more people. So at the moment, this is what I'm going for, and I really hope that you'll stick with me despite the fact that I'm bringing in all of these changes. It's necessary, you know, but we need to keep up with our technological landscape and our cultural landscape as they change, and they're always changing. There isn't anyone out there who can tell you, hey, this is how you do it right now, because things are so different in the games industry to how it was even, you know, 2 years ago. Things are so different in terms of using the internet and communicating with all you guys. It's so difficult, you know. And it's a challenge that is exciting, but also it can chip away at you. And you got to find a way to stay positive, and you just got to be tough, you know. And if you if you can't do it, you know, then maybe it's not the right job for you. But I know way down deep in my soul that making video games is that's my job. That's the only thing that I should be doing is making video games. I can feel it, you know, and I've done heaps of jobs and have other careers in the past, but I always knew like this is what I have to do. And I can see it's getting tougher. It's so much harder than it was a couple of years ago. But if that's what I have to do, then I'll do it because this is my job. This is my career. It's what I have to do. And I just need to find a path forward that is sustainable and that will work. I know for a fact, you know, and I can tell you guys honestly, I can't keep up the 130 hours a week, and I'm feeling it this week now. After like 6 months of that, I can't keep that going. I normally in the past can keep that going because I generally will do physical training exclusively for like 6 weeks, and then I'll just get into the absolute best shape that I can physically, and then usually that will allow me to work long, demanding work weeks. I would say 120 was usually my average for a work week, and that's fine. You know, if you're in very good physical shape, you can maintain that. You can work at a drop my mouse. You can maintain that for a pretty long period. But I'm at a point now where I'm putting on a bit of weight now. I have to keep taking in more calories in order to keep up the workload, and I've lost like all my muscle mass. I wouldn't be able to go rock climbing at this point. I'd be really bad at biking. So I really just need to get Gorgeous Sword Long Hard Justice shipped. I've got to get two more mobile games out, and I'm really hoping that the games are earning enough revenue at that point where I can step away and I can get back to physical training. I need 6 weeks where it's just hard, brutal physical training to get back in shape. And then at that point, I'll jump straight back in to getting my next games shipped out as well. So I really appreciate you guys. Um, Again, I wouldn't be able to do this without you, and especially for the Patreon supporters, you guys have been such a huge help. You guys are my team. You know, I keep saying that, but you guys really are. You help me get the word out there. Um, and it's great just hanging out, you know, and chatting with you guys, not even about my games, just about anything in general. So please take care of yourselves, be well. I'll check in again soon with you guys and let you know how my games are going. Look after yourselves, be well, and again, thank you. All of us, we are Sungrand.